knowing how.
JD in the building.
JD.
What up? What up? What up? What's going on, y'all?
Hey, live, baby.
Live, baby. It's Hip Hop Friday. Hip Hop Friday.
Oh.
I have no other but Paris Smith from EPMD.
Hip hop royalty.
The haymaker.
Ladies and gentlemen. Left you without a dope pod to step to.
It's your girl Sunshine here tonight. This is exclusive. This is big. Tonight, it's about our fraternity.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Speak.
Live from DC. What's up?
But I hope everyone had a good Friday, because today is Good Friday and it's Friday. Oh, here we go. We got nobody but Tracy Lee. How are you, King?
I'm good, Queen. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm used to my interview, so you got to go over there.
Yeah.
Good Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I was confused of where to go. I didn't know if to come to your page or the Speakeasy page, but we're here now.
Yes. Well, I'm happy that we are here. I've been vibing out all day to your music.
Thank you.
Last night, then I was up this morning at 5 o'clock, if you could tell. I'm sorry.
Wow.
After you saying.
I can't tell. I can't tell at all. You know what I mean? I can't tell.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We're having more viewers coming on. But I want you to talk to the people. Introduce yourself for the ones that don't know you.
Yes. How you doing, everybody out there? My name is Tracy Lee, hip-hop recording artist, educator, attorney. And, without giving away too much, because I'm sure we'll talk about it and take a deep dive into it. I've been a part of the music business for the last 24 years, at least as a signed artist. There were some years before that, I would also like to attach to that resume. But I've also been a licensed attorney for the last 14 years. And I'm just happy to be here and excited to, engage in the conversation. And we'll get more into the biography, if you will, the bio, as we begin to have the conversation. But thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, King. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like and share. Now, I see that you're from originally Buffalo, born in Buffalo.
I was born in Buffalo, New York. Absolutely. And I understand you live there now, right?
Right now, I'm trying to move out to somewhere warm, but my children's like, nope. My 15-year-old's like, I got 2 more years, Mom. We can't do it.
I could dig it. Yes. Yeah. It's and that's the reason why my mother was born there, and so, and I saw a glimpse of, and I used to come there in the summertime, but I got a glimpse of the weather, and it's not pretty. You know what I mean? It's not for the faint of heart.
It was just snowing yesterday for 2
I can believe it. I can believe it. You know what I mean? It's like as soon as the end of September hits all the way until the beginning of May, you can expect some snow.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was born there, but I was raised in Philadelphia. So, but before most, not all of my family, that were there, they relocated to Atlanta. So they've been in Atlanta for at least the last 15, 20 years. But yeah, a lot of the early stages in my life was spent in Buffalo, New York.
Okay. Which school did you graduate from?
I graduated from Girard College.
Okay.
And that's a school in North Philadelphia.
Oh.
I started going to school there 7th grade. It's a boarding school. And it was one of the best moves that my mother could have ever made, because it's a unique school in that it was originally for orphan white males back in the day. It was founded by a guy named Stephen Girard. And then after, during the civil rights movement and all of that stuff, then they finally let us in. And so by the time I got there, the school was 95% black. You know what I mean? But it was still, for single parent homes. And the thing about it is, I was just having some conversations with a lot of my brothers. Like, we're like brothers. I mean, we grew up with each other. You know what I'm saying? We've known each other since we were little kids. And so there's a lot of kids, or a lot of my brothers, that still don't know who their father is. You know what I'm saying? If their father walked past them today, they would not be able to recognize them. They have brothers and sisters that they have never met and would not be able to recognize them. So, Gerard essentially saved our lives. You know what I mean? Because it was at a pivotal point, and especially, and I can only speak for myself. In my life, it was a pivotal point where you start to make that transition, and being raised by your mother and your father's not in the home at the time, it's like you start to stray away in those, 10, 11, 12-year-old age range. You know what I'm saying? Things start to shift. Puberty comes along. And so, this was the type of school that, that brought us in, or should I say allowed us that coverage, if you will, and that assistance to single parent homes. And, most of us, I was venture to say maybe 90% of us came out of there, went to college, got 4-year degrees, and even after that, postgraduate school and all that kind of stuff. So that was the type of, but the unique thing about it, it's right in the heart of North Philly, and this is before gentrification. Now, the neighborhood is a lot better, but back then, oh yeah, it was crazy.
Well, that's a blessing to hear, though, that you guys still stay in contact and everything. It's
absolutely
good to have your loyals,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, okay, I'm a football fanatic.
Yes. Oh, the Eagles all day.
Okay.
Eagles all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They Steelers. I'm like, man.
Oh no. See, that's on the other side of the state. We don't even, you know what I mean? It's just Eagles all day. Eagles all day.
I love the Eagles too, so that's good because I'm a Ravens fan.
Okay, I can dig it. I mean, see, yeah, they're in the AFC. I can dig. My wife's from Baltimore, so there's some partiality there. You know what I mean? So yeah.
All right. Well, I have a lot of questions, and I put it out there today. I always like to get my viewers to give me questions that they want to ask you as well.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, Glory. Let's talk about your new album, which is fire, which I love, and we're going to dissect that. So let's talk about Glory.
Oh, man. I mean, Glory was written in the pandemic. Every thought, every idea was manifested in a 2-month span. And that's the fastest that I've ever written any project. It started roughly about March 13th, when everything went on lockdown, and my pen came off the pad Memorial weekend, and that was the weekend that George Floyd was murdered. And the thing about this album is that, and shout out to OJs who produced the entire album. Actually, he produced the last 2 albums that I've done. I got another album called Expect Unexpected that I released in 2019. But this album right here, what we did was we took the music. He had about 50 beats in a folder, and I handpicked each beat, and then what we did was sequence the album in order musically before I did anything with regards to writing. I didn't write a word before it was already sequenced. And then once we had a sequence, I wrote every song in order as you heard them. So starting with Dominion, then we get to Glory, then we get to the Old Me. Like, everything was written in that form in order so that it was a cohesive body of work, and it sounded like we were telling a story. And so that, again, that is the unique thing about this particular album, how fast I did it and the way that it was written. I've never done it in that manner. And I tell people all the time when I start describing Glory, Glory is really, I was a vessel. I'd say, 15, 20% of it was me. I think it was me, you know what I'm saying, concentrating on, but 85% of that was God, just because it was just spilling. It was like an out of body experience. I never, with any of the music that I've ever done in my lifetime, I've never had that kind of experience. And so that's why I say this is probably my greatest project to date. You know what I'm saying? It will get better, but to date, I believe that this is not only because of the manner in which I did it, but also because of the content, because of what we're talking about. Everything was really like me reporting from my window, and me reporting from what I looked at on television, and me reporting from the phone calls that I would have with family members and friends, and what we're going through with regards to the pandemic. And I was simply narrating that and my life at the same time, and giving you my analysis and my interpretation of what it is that we're going through, and not only identifying the problem, but coming up with solutions, how we get through this, going from the darkness to the light. And that's the flow and the ebb and flow of the album.
When you said your pen hardly came off, nothing but the Holy Ghost. You were that vessel.
Absolutely.
I was listening to it and it touched everything. And then you said you stopped, and then the next day, George Floyd, unfortunately, God rest his soul.
Yep.
That's nothing but the Holy Ghost.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
isn't it great how he uses us?
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just I was in a discussion, and I had a couple of interviews this week, and the one thing that I always stress as far as my spirituality and what I believe, I never get into arguments when it comes to that, because I know how my life is set up, and I know what I've been through. So it's like for me to try to prove to someone else why this and why that, it's useless. You know what I mean? You can only go on what you've gone through, and what what you've experienced. And so I don't even get into those discussions anymore. You know what I mean?
Because like he said in Luke, whoever does not receive you, dust your feet off and keep it moving.
That's right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Now, breaking down your albums, the first one, Many Phases.
Mm-hmm.
One, Live from Live
Live from
215.
Yes.
The third, ESQ.
Yes.
The Revelations.
Yes.
Now, then I'll go back to it though. But then the fourth one, Expect the Unexpected, and the fifth is Your Glory.
Yes.
But let's go back to ESQ.
Yes.
I love how you set up, they're talking about you, what they're saying and everything else, because that is what the enemy does. The enemy always try to make you second guess what you're doing and what God has told you to do.
Facts.
And how you set that up, I love how you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did, God put that on my heart, I think last year.
Yeah.
The battle within, once you give yourself over to the Lord. And when you did that, and I was listening to it, and I was like, okay, Lord, I see. So the connections and the brotherhood and sisterhood is beautiful.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sorry, and to piggyback off of that, that idea came from the Eminem movie, 8 Mile. It was the last battle, and he went up against Papa Doc, and basically he went first, and he essentially said everything that Papa Doc was going to say in that battle. So basically, you took the weapon from him. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he was going to use against you, you took it from him. So now, what do you have to say now? So essentially, so that's what that whole song was about. The first song on the ESQ, the Revelation album. You know what I mean?
I love.
Yeah. Yep. That's what it was about.
I loved it, and I love how you stay real, but you stay humble.
Mm-hmm.
You address issues that happen instead of people whispering and talking behind your back. You're bringing it to the forefront, like boom. I know what you're talking about. Here, let me elaborate for you.
Yeah, let me help you out.
Exactly. When Nori was talking and was like, I know he's gonna hate me on this, and you had the hammer and slammed it. I was like, what I'm talking about? You're like, I'm shutting it all down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's because my thing is, everybody has a right to an opinion. I don't have an issue with that. But if we are being real, if we're being men, if we're being, if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. But then also, because you have a platform to be able to alter people's opinions, then my thing is let's be fair about it. Allow me to speak then. You know what I'm saying? Not to try to change your mind, but just to give you another vantage point and another viewpoint in the situation. That's all. And we can just have a healthy dialogue. We can agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? But at least let's have a dialogue as opposed to it being a one-sided interpretation of what you fit. And then again, to bring it up twice, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, first time fine, but then what's really on your mind? Let's have a dialogue. You know what I mean? So that's all that was.
But I love it because you're humble. Like, you have not let it get to your head or anything to that nature. You're just humble and down to earth. And that's what we love. And that's what I like to see.
Thank you.
Howard.
Yes.
Girlfriends from high school, she asked me to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose Howard University? How did the experience change you? And what sample did you and OGs?
Yeah, OGs.
Did you use for Saved?
I probably can guess who that is. Begins with a T and ends with a Takima. Yeah, I know who that is. Shout out to Takima. I think she's in here. Why did I choose Howard?
Together.
Oh wow, yeah, small. That's what's up. That's what's up. No wonder you good people. See, this is how it works. This is how the universe works. Why did I choose Howard? I mean, I grew up in a family of people that went to HBCU, so I was already, leaning in that direction anyway. My mom told me when I was 10 years old that college would be the best experience of your life, and so, but I knew I wanted to go to school, and I knew I wanted to go to HBCU, but I just didn't know where at the time because it could have been Clark. Both my parents went to Clark. Could have been to Morehouse since it was in Atlanta. My aunt went to Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. But when it came down to making that decision, I had an aunt that lived down here at the time, lived in the area, lived in the DC area, and I used to come down here, and she would, this is about the time I was like 16 years old, so she would let me get the car and come to DC and hang out a little bit, and I definitely remember one time that I came up Georgia Avenue and I just saw some people hanging out, speaker blasting, music playing, you know what I'm saying? It just looked like my type of, atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at that wall as you come up Georgia Avenue right by the school of B, and it says Howard University on the wall. And I was like, man, I'm coming here. That was it. And my mother teases me about it. My wife teases me about it. It wasn't the academics. I'm a social butterfly, man. It was the social, it was the music. It was, it was the eye candy. It was all of that kind of stuff that drew me in. And then once I got in, we discovered everything else. But I can't front. It was that. That was just my element. And so not only is that my element, but then you start getting into the rich history. You start figuring out who actually went here. From at that time, before I stepped foot, it was, the Donny Hathaways of the world and the Thurgood Marshalls of the world and the Debbie Allens and the Felicia Ayers, Alan Ayers Rashad and the Roberta Flacks and all of this kind of stuff. And it's just like, wow, okay, so you're amongst the elite company. So, the funny thing was Howard was the last institution to accept. So I was on the verge of going somewhere else, and I was headed to the mailbox to actually, put in, my to confirm that I was headed. I want to say it was Morehouse. Mm-hmm. And I got that letter in the mail that said, yeah, you've been accepted to Howard University. And it was, I never looked back from there. So that's what it was about Howard University. And then when we get here, I come in with the likes of Anthony Anderson and Carl Payne and Sean Puff Daddy Combs is already here. And I come in with Mark Pitts. And, a couple years later, here comes Marlon Wayans. And Shy, the group Shy is already here. And, years down the line, here's Chadwick Boseman. And, Taraji P. Henson is here when I'm here. And, it's just, you find yourself in this environment and this element of like something special. I call it the Renaissance period of Howard University. And not only and I think it was not only because there was a talent there, but there was an entrepreneurial spirit there. You know what I'm saying? And within our generation, for people that were born between 65 and 79, I believe, the baby boomers were, maybe for a lot of black families in America, first generation to possibly go to college. Then but not the majority. Then but their whole thing was go to college, get a job. You know what I'm saying? Go to a 4-year institution, get a job, get the 401k, da 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 da. We were the first generation to come and say, go to college or not go to college, but discover an entrepreneurial spirit, build your own business, you know what I'm saying? Become your own boss. And so that's what the type of mentality and atmosphere that was here at Howard University when I came in '88. And yeah, man, we never looked back from there.
Now, did you pledge?
No, I did not. But the funny thing about it is my whole family is Greek. Well, yeah, my whole family, my sister, my brother, my mom, pop, stepmom, all of that. Everybody's Greek. I'm the black sheep. And I got a funny story about that because my father's a Kappa, right? And so he he was egging me on, yo, you got to play. So, okay, I went to one of the smokers, you know what I'm saying? I went in there and I listened. And then the thing that turned, and this is my ego, you know what I'm saying? The thing that turned me off was, after the meeting, it was one guy, you know what I'm saying? I guess, they were checking out the talent or whatever. And so we, have to, have that interest. So it was me and a couple other guys. We ran up to him trying to get some information. And he was like, okay, I'll tell you what, you call me at 10:05, you call me at 10:10, and you call me at 10:15. If you don't call me at that time, and if you're a minute late or you're a minute early, then, hey, I can't really do nothing for you. And so I let that process for a minute. I was like, do I want to endure this? Am I built to endure this for the pledge period? Like, my mental was just not there for that. So I said, nah. And my pop was hot. What do you mean you can't? No, you have no discipline. Like, look, man, that ain't for me.
My cousin Harold graduated from Howard University, and he pledged Kappa.
Oh, wow.
And I do Celebrating Life with Sunshine on Tuesdays. Yeah. I had him, he linked me with some people. He couldn't come on that day, so he linked me with his brothers. So I had Omega, I had the Q Dogs, I had different ones, and when I tell you, I had them stepping at the end to end out the show.
Nice.
I love stepping, and with this pandemic, I miss going to them stepping shows.
Oh no, I love the culture. I love the culture. I can't even, I can't front. It may not have been for me, but I love the culture of it. I love the whole ideal. You know what I mean? I love the charity work. I love everything that they do, and I even thought about doing grad chapter and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely it's definitely good to see us as a people pull together, pull resources, and pull together like that, and be able to go out here and help those that are in need. I love it.
Amen on that. Now, to go into the community, since you said that,
yes,
Ursh, one of the CEOs, as community outreach, what does it look like, and what nonprofits or other organizations do you have that give back?
To answer the first question, community outreach to me is essentially getting where you fit in, right? As long as it's for the betterment of our community. So we're not a monolith, right? Everybody has their strengths, weaknesses, how they're able to assist and help in the community. And so that's what community outreach is to me, is understanding and recognizing that there is a community, first of all, and that you are doing what you do in order to be able to reach out and help. So in my particular situation, I'm a part of the Recording Academy. Now, there is, and this is the nonprofit sector and the more notable things that I do with the community, there is, a misconception about what the Recording Academy is all about, because it's always, geared toward the award show, that comes around once a year. But the Recording Academy is essentially a nonprofit organization that does help people in the music industry across the globe with, like now in the pandemic, there are a lot of performers that aren't able to perform and things like that. So what we do is we do a lot of things up on the hill, with regards to, Congress and legislation and things like that, to get bills passed to be able to help non-working or musicians that are unable to, work right now under these conditions, so that they can survive, you know what I mean? So that they can pay rent, so that they can eat and things of that nature. Other things that we do within the organization is there is a sector or a program called Grammy U, where we give information and provide mentorship for younger people that are at various colleges and universities in the area, Howard, Bowie State, anything in the DMV. I currently live in the DMV, where we offer information and we offer guidance with regards to the music industry and what to look for, the peaks, the valleys, the highs, the lows, the pitfalls, you know what I mean? Give them the type of guidance that maybe some of us never had as we were coming up in the game. And so from a notable perspective, that's what I do and I'm a part of the board here in Washington, D.C. Now, aside from that, things that I do with regards to my experience and my education is that, off the books, I constantly mentor young cats or young people, that really want to know the ins and outs of this industry. And I do it for free, because one of my mottos is, it's the total opposite of what we've been taught. We've always been taught the game is to be sold, not to be told, which I think is a bunch of BS. You know what I'm saying? How do we move forward as a people if we're constantly charging people for the game? You know what I mean? You're supposed to share that information, in my opinion, as an OG, as a person that is that has the knowledge and the wisdom and have been through the fire. If you get through the fire, you are blessed enough to know what is good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, to the best of your ability, and you're supposed to be that guiding light for those that don't know. Yeah. And for those that are not, that are willing to listen, but they can't find anybody that is willing to share the information. So these are the charitable things that I do outside of organizations, outside of notable charity work and all this other stuff. I give my time and I lend my time and my knowledge and my wisdom to kids that I know personally and kids that I don't know personally that may know somebody that I know. And my phone is always open to give that kind of information. And there are hundreds of people that, that really just don't understand about, life. They don't understand about the music business. They don't understand about law, that I am an open book and I'm willing to share whenever possible, especially within my community.
I love it. I love it because I was raised up as your village. And you're like a village, especially with what's going on even more today with our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
Now, our girl said, sample, please. Are you able to answer that question?
Okay, I tried to duck that, but here's the thing, and don't get mad at me. Jizz won't even tell me where he found that sample. I've been trying to guess where he found that sample. I've been trying to, and usually I'm in tune with it. I'm very in tune with it. And I still don't know where he found that sample. So whenever he lets the cat out the bag, T, then I'll let you know. You know what I mean? But right now, I have no answers.
All right, T. He said he don't know. And one of your friends said, be an open book. Each one teach one. Amen on that.
That's right.
And that's a beautiful thing. Now, with you doing that, is it because of the situation that you came into contact with in the beginning of your career?
I think so. I think a lot of it is. But it's also, just analyzing the situation. How are we supposed to move forward and get ahead if everybody, if there are only a few people that have that, the gatekeepers are the only ones that have this information, and they're not willing to share it? How are we supposed to all get ahead? That's it's a conflict here. You know what I'm saying? And it always baffled me. And I think what happened was when I got into the business and I saw the music business for what it is and not what I thought it was, or, and me putting my energy before I got into the business strictly into the music, which I thought was the core of what the music business is all about, but not music is not the core of the music business. The business is the core of the music business. And so, once I understood that, then it's like, okay, so if that is the core of the music business, then how come there are only a few of us that are in this business that have knowledge and wisdom and understanding of this business enough for just a couple of us to get ahead? You know what I mean? As opposed to the multitude of people that are in this business that are really like the low people on the totem pole that really don't understand and know what this music business is about. And the people that are up, they're not willing to share unless you pay a price.
Yeah. I'm happy what you're doing, because that is so true, because the stories I keep hearing is just sad. Because we growing up, we're taught you help one another. There was unity. Now there's not a lot of unity. So what you're doing for the community is a beautiful thing.
Thank you, sister. Appreciate it. Absolutely.
The vision with your albums.
Yes.
Come up with each one of the names. Like, what made you name them what they were?
Okay, so Many Faces, let's start from the beginning. Many Faces was essentially me getting a deal, and I was kind of rushed to finish the album based off of the success of the single that we put out there, which was the theme is Party Time. It caught fire. I was signed to my deal in 1996 in the spring. They started playing that record in the fall on Mix Show in the fall of 1996. So you're talking about from April to October, I made this song and started to work on the album in between those months. And once they leaked that record and it caught fire, then Universal felt like that we had to speed up the process to finish the album because they wanted to capitalize on the success of the single, which to me didn't allow for the public to know who I was. Basically, they were chasing the record. So with that in mind, what we did was we took a lot of the records that I had already made before I got signed, or some of the records. We attached a couple of other records once things started to bubble, and then we looked at the landscape and said, yo, these are going in a lot of different directions. They're showing a lot of, different types of sides of Trey and who he is and what he's about and blah, blah, blah. So then I took that and basically said, okay, there are many faces of Tracy Lee. And so hence you have, the title of that first album called Many Faces. Live from the 215 was the antithesis of Many Faces, meaning there were a lot of people that weren't ready for Many Faces. They thought, I was schizophrenic and all this other crazy stuff I saw writers write up about, the album itself. And that's because they weren't ready for that. They were more prepared for, identifying, putting you in a box and identifying what type of who you are and what type of MC you are. And I was going in all kind of different directions. So it was like, okay, if that's what you wanted, then I conformed, which I shouldn't have, but I conformed. And I said, you know what? Second album, I'm going to give you straight, direct, live from the 215. This is Philly. This is Trey. This is me. This is what it is. One way. This is the way you're going to understand. This is the only way you'll understand it. Then I'm going to give it to you one way like that. Then we get to ESQ, which is there's a lapse between Live from the 215, which was done in 2000, and ESQ, which was done in 2014, because there was law school. Before law school, there was the peak. I mean, there was the valley, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm supposed to do after I got dropped, got down to my last bit of coin, if you will, you know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out where I was going to live, all this kind of stuff, just life decisions. And so ESQ was giving you that whole narrative. You know what I'm saying? It's giving you that whole narrative. And the reason why we say ESQ, the revelation, is because there was a revelation involved in that 14-year gap. You know what I'm saying? Now we ended up being an attorney. So I'm giving you the revelation. I'm taking you along this journey, and I'm sharing my story with you of where I was in these last 14 years and what has transpired, mentally, physically, emotionally, all that kind of stuff. And so that was the most therapeutic album that I had done, because I felt like I needed to get all of that load. I need to express myself and get that heavy burden load off my chest, and it helped tremendously. So now that I had did that, now we're getting into the fun part. Here comes Expect the Unexpected. And that's essentially what that album is. Like, whatever you thought I was going to be or come with, blah, 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 this time around, it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? You can expect the unexpected. I did what I wanted to do, and that's one of the records on the album. You know what I mean? Shout out to Prodigy for Mindless Behavior. You know, and even that combination in itself, you're talking about a kids group where, that group I know his father. That's how we were able to connect. I know the cat's father, Prodigy's father. And so, for us to align and do a record together, that's unexpected. You know what I'm saying? So I think that record itself speaks for the entire album when we talk about Expect the Unexpected and the type of songs that we did on that album. And I love that album. And so from there, we get to Glory. And Glory, we already explained it.
Yes.
Glory was where we are right now.
Yes.
Right where we're sitting right now.
Oh my goodness. When the pandemic hit, God was like, it's time for you to see you.
Yep.
See what wasn't changed, what needs to change, what needs to die, what needs to get healed, what needs to get corrected.
Yep.
Yeah, this pandemic has really, revelation.
It separates the men from the boys, or the women from the girls. It really, you find out exactly who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Sure did. Things you thought you got over? Nah.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
So now let's talk about it's party time. That used to come on, the parties would be jumping, lights go, it's bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah.
And when I seen T, she posted her holding Glory, I was like, Lord, I would love to interview him.
Wow.
Like, go for it.
Wow.
One not, X not. Like,
and here we are.
Asking, yes. And I'm so thankful for you taking the time out to respond, your camp and everything.
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh, what? Somebody could just say no. So I inbox so many people, and I'm getting them. They be like, how you do it? I was like, I take my time, and I introduce myself, what daSpeakeasy is about, and I go from there. They can say yes or no.
Right.
They say yes. I'm like, thank you, Lord. They say no. I said, okay, it's not that time yet, God. Okay.
Exactly. Shout out to Young Guru in the building. Salute, brother. Salute.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Now, working with other artists from 96 on, who would you like to work with again with?
Again? Well, he's not here anymore, but I would love to work with Big again, but that can't happen. God rest his soul. That was the illest session, to date that I've had with another artist, just because of what he was able to share with me, as someone that was at the top of the food chain. As far as again, I mean, I love to work with all of the cats that I've worked with before. Derek D. Angeletti, he still has, and that's still my mentor, so I still do things with him. Busta Rhymes, he just released a phenomenal album. You know what I'm saying? I would love to, what I mean? Yeah, I would love to work with him again. I would even love to work with Kanye West again, just because, I know the talent that he is, you know what I'm saying? And I know what he can bring to the table, and I know all of the things that he brings to the table, good, bad, or indifferent. But I believe that something magical could come out of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even to the people or to the executives that I worked with before, like Mark Pitts, you know what I'm saying? When he got his, when he was named president of Sony RCA, one of the things I congratulated him, and one of the things that I said in my post is that I probably wouldn't sign with a major label ever again, but if I did, the only person that I would sign with is Mark, just so that we could finish what we started. You know what I'm saying? He was the cat that gave me a chance. You know, we didn't see it all the way out, like to see what it could be. You know, we got one album done, and that was pretty much it. But you know, with him, you know, and like I said, I came into Howard with Mark. You know what I'm saying? We both entered Howard University in 1988, so I seen what he's done. You know what I mean? From that all the way up until now. He's a good brother. He understands the business, and you know, I was the first act that he signed, and I just, you know, I wonder what could transpire, you know, at our age, with our wisdom. And I would like to think that we've both gotten tremendously better since then. What could be the end result of that? You know what I mean?
Now, someone just asked, "Hey Shay, are you open to working with new artists?"
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Matter of fact, the producer that I've worked with over the last 2 years, this cat is 20 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you know, that just speaks to the synergy. So I'm not discriminatory with regards to, you know, age or none of that. Like, if it's dope, it's dope. It got to be dope though. That's the thing, and that's objective. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's
know.
objective.
Right?
I mean subjective. Excuse me, not objective. That's subjective.
Okay.
It got to be dope though. You know, it ain't just working with anybody. I don't care. Even as a veteran, you got to be dope.
Okay. Well, Shay, I've heard her stuff. It is dope.
That's what's up.
I had Shay on Celebrating Life with Sunshine
Mm-hmm.
2 Tuesdays ago.
Okay.
It's on our YouTube. I uploaded and everything. T says freedom is dope.
Oh, and I'm glad she said that too, because there are two artists, new artists, young artists that I work with from Canada, Zamani and Quinto. They're both singer songwriters from Canada, and so again, that's to answer. I think that was Shay's question. Yes, we work with new artists all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I wish Canada would let us in. They're like, nope, nope.
I know. And you right there.
I
Yeah,
know.
they're not playing it. They're not having it.
I'm going to Toronto just to get away. I'm on American side for the falls, but I would love to go over to Canada side again. You know,
Right.
just once in a while.
Yeah.
You start realizing things you miss that you used to do all the time, and now you can't do no more.
Get a different scenery. Get a different view. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I couldn't even go to IKEA, and IKEA. My Lord.
Right.
Now, let's go back to Biggie real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I watched one of your old videos when you interviews when you were talking about your time 7 hours in the studio with Biggie, and he's rocking back and forth. You guys are talking, and you're like, I don't see a pad, I don't see a pen.
Right.
That experience made you step your game up on trying not to do the pad and pen.
Right. Well, not immediately, because I still didn't understand what he was doing. Because when he explained it, he just said it confuses me, and that, you know, I'm like, well, forget what you're talking about. Even though I witnessed, you know, him spit these incredible bars, I still wasn't ready to, you know, put the pen and pad down. You know what I mean? Because I just didn't understand the concept until later. Once I got to law school, then I got it, and when the revelation hit me, it was Big Styles allowed him to be able to adopt that method, because Big, to me, was the most efficient MC to ever rock a mic, because he said more with less. You know, he would take one word that it would take most cats 4 or 5 words for you to identify what they're talking about. Big had the unique ability to find one word that fit syllable wise, meaning wise, in the framework of a track inside of the pocket, and it laid there so crazy. And again, because he's able to do that, then it's not necessary to have to remember a whole bunch of words, but you got to record it, write it down and blah, blah, blah. And plus, his bounce and melody and flow allowed for him with regards to, the way he wrote. Because his whole thing was, because of the way I write and because of the way I select my words, why do I need to transfer it to the to the pad, and then have to transfer it again back to the mic when I can go straight to the mic? And then that way, if I'm learning the inflections, if I'm learning the emotion, if I'm learning the way that I want to spit it already, I don't need to look at the pad, because the pad will confuse me. And so I'm sitting up here reading and trying to spit it at the same time, where I could just put the pad down and just spit. And so when I went to law school, because of the amount of cases that I was, studying and all this other kind of stuff, it helped muscle memory. It helped, condition the brain to remember things, a lot better than I was prior to that. Not to mention, in my former life, there was a lot of extracurricular things going on, medicinals and things like that did not help the memory, So, so once I put that down and really got to work with regards to conditioning my brain in a certain way, then I figured out, okay, this is how he was doing it. So then I tried to do it myself. It's like, if I could remember case law, I could remember a rhyme. This is easy. And so then that's when I started to adopt that method.
Okay. Look, it's good talking with someone that can tell us some stories that you learned from, because he's no longer here to speak on it. You're able to.
No doubt.
I was able to perform at one of the Summer Jam concerts.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing. Oh, I was like,
yes! Yeah.
A lot of great legends passed on at a young age.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Because
him, Pac, Freaky Ty, Pun, Big L. I mean, the list goes on and on, man.
I know, and I love Mobb Deep, and I couldn't see Prodigy. And I brought his book, so that'll be my next read, because I love to read up on hip hop history, because I love hip hop.
No doubt.
Sat and talked with Paris from EPMD in December. The stories that he didn't tell in other interviews, he was so humble, down to earth, laughing, cracking jokes and everything. So I just love hip hop. And he was like, oh, you do love hip hop. Talking about Big Daddy Kane with Dolomite and when they're talking about the police and brutality way back then.
Yes.
And look, nothing's changed but our brotherhood, our sisterhood.
Yes.
And the music industry, things to that nature.
Right.
Now, since you entered the scene, the ones who started with you, are they still with you, or do some have to get placed on the side?
Oh no, I mean, we are still. The thing about me is my circle has been my circle and will always be my circle. Even within the industry, my circle never changed. So I'm still with the same. Not to say that we are in the same capacity. Are we doing things, but we're still doing things together. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Young Guru just popped up in here. He's off doing, engineering work for Jay-Z and being the tour DJ for Jay and Alicia Keys. But that's still my man, and we're still doing things in another capacity. You know what I'm saying? We're not necessarily doing music together. And there, a bunch of my, power move R&F cats that, that we were in the game together, and we still continue to build on other things outside of music to this day. You know what I mean? Like, I got the same friends I had 24 years ago. That has never changed. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. I love it. It's always good to still have our friends that know us, and that's ride or die and the loyal.
Absolutely.
I still have mine too, and I just love it.
That's right.
Now, with your albums, it has shown your full circle evolving. Since you entered the industry, you expressed the highs and lows. How are you today, mentally, spiritually? We know that you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, but how are you with this journey?
I'm great. I mean, matter of fact, I just said, when I turned 50 in October, and I feel like, I just came out of the locker room. Like, I'm a real big sports fan. It's like, that was the halftime speech. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We lived the first half of our life. You know what I mean? We saw some things, but now we're in the locker room, and now it's time to make those adjustments so you can get back out on the field and win the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. Like I'm more stable now than I've ever been before. You know, I have a 6 and a 4 year old. I've been married over the last 11 years. You know, it's just life is simple. I've simplified everything. You know what I mean? And I think that is the key to life, simplifying everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, chop things down, you know, and you don't understand that when you're younger. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel like you're invincible. You don't really know anything, but you're here to observe and, without putting yourself in danger, try to figure out, you know, what it is that you want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and the ironic thing about all of that is there's still much more to learn.
Yeah.
There's still more adjustments to be made. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, you know, there are certain aspects of your life that you've kind of adjusted so that you can get to the other aspects of your life that you need to adjust. You know what I'm saying? You can't get over there until you fix over here. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at, man. I'm at a great space. I'm in a great space right now.
Oh, that's beautiful to hear. And yes, October 22nd is your
Yes.
birthday. I'm October 17th.
Oh, okay. So that's that Libra thing. Yeah. So
Look, I'm about to be 45 this year.
come on in.
My sister, yo, let's go celebrate, turn up to the fullest, because now when I turn 40, I turned 40 in Barbados. Next
Mm.
5, I was like, let's go to DR. My sister was like, bet, let's go.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Gotta live life to the fullest.
Absolutely.
Said,
You
yeah,
said it.
look, it's like each few years you start learning more
Yep.
and gaining more.
Yep.
And knowledge is power. So I love it. I love it. And
It's all about, like you said, living life to the fullest. And the key word to that is live. Live.
not
You know what
exist.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just live. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Now, we're going back to glory.
Sure.
Now, Ernest said he loves Dominion.
Oh.
He said that is his favorite on this album.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite on this album?
It depends on what day I get up. How I feel when I get up. I promise you. Because every song hits me in a particular way given the day. I remember you know, when things were going on at the Capitol, you know what I'm saying? The Purge stood out immediately, you know what I'm saying? Because they did what I thought because what it showed me was the enemy is exactly the same. It's just the plights are different. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The direction is coming. It's coming from different directions, but the enemy is exactly the same because they did what I thought we should have did. Now, if we had tried that, it would have been a different result. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it was all about getting to, you know, the quote unquote oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Their issues are much different than ours. You're coming from a left wing and a right wing perspective, but the end game is exactly the same. When, you know, there was a situation with my family going on, and you know, we were able to overcome it, but then once we overcame it, I went right to We Good. So We Good hit me in a different way that particular day, because I you know, at the end of the day, we were good. We were good. You know what I'm saying? We got through what we got through, and we're good. Food is in the fridge. Everybody's healthy. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're not missing a check. You know what I'm saying? We empathize to those that have not been able to sustain certain things during this pandemic. Empathize greatly, but then, you know, I have to recognize the blessings that I have. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, I say, hey, you know, regardless of what's going on, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I look around and I have nothing to complain about. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on what day. You know what I mean? It could be Dominion. It could be the old me. If you tick me off, you say something, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I mean? Then it's, don't bring me back there. I
Look,
don't want to go back there.
because the old me is Nikki. Hey, I'm keeping Nikki locked up.
Word up.
I felt that when I was like, yup, that's me. I'm like, I said, y'all getting in the cold sunshine, but there's Nikki. Don't get it twisted. I try to keep Nikki
Yeah.
worried. You don't want the Nikki.
Yeah. I don't want the old me. Like, I know what that is. That's not, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I could vibe on that. When I heard that, I was like, yup. I had the pen like, that's like, nah. They tell people, you don't want Nikki. No. Out is hard to put it back in for a while.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I'd be like, be happy I know Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thing, man. Depends. You call me tomorrow, it'll be another record. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. But I gotta say,
What's your favorite? What's your favorite?
I'm the old me.
Ah.
And the other one is the Purge. Because the clap, 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 clap.
Yeah.
Like, that's like on the club scene.
Yeah.
Or I miss that too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is a club vibe.
Yeah.
Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yes. And that was intentional. I'm glad you caught that. You're the first person that I've talked to when we start talking about the records. You know, of course the messages stand out, but there's other elements in the records that I'll be like, man, I wonder if they caught that. And you caught it. So kudos to you.
I love to dissect songs.
Yeah.
I was like, the kids know. I was up at 5:30 because I was like, okay, I already heard it, but now it's time to dissect it.
Yes.
And as you can see, I got my notes here.
Yes.
Like, I love the Dominion. You know, how you dressed it, God's vision, things of that nature. But then there's glory. So true. Our testimonies, the point blank to the melody. You know?
Yeah. I look down the barrel of a gun. You know what I'm saying?
And I wanted to ask you about that because I have that highlighted here. Was that during the Valley time when you took your 14 years away to do schooling and everything?
Nah, this is during the old me time. You see what I'm saying? This is during the time when I was actually in college, but, you know, we were knuckleheads. We did a lot of things that, you know, I definitely regret, but, you know, we did some things. And so we got caught slipping one day, you know what I mean? And, you know, somebody, you know, and even though it wasn't actually me, I was in the company of those that did, you know what I'm saying? So when you mixed up, you mixed up, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I'm looking at it, and I know it's real, but it seems surreal to me. I'm not even flinching. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, yo, at first I'm trying to identify it. Then I'm like, yo, he really got it like right there. And I heard his man say, yo, no, not him. He's not, you know what I'm saying? And so he took it away and they left, you know what I mean? But it was surreal because it could have been an itch. It could have been you know what I'm saying? It could have been anything. It could have been a yell or scream that caused him to have a nervous twitch, and that's it. Split second.
That was God when that person said, not him.
Absolutely. And that's happened more than once in my life. And that's why I say I don't get into these discussions and debates. You see what I'm saying? I know what my life is about. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I should have been dead.
Yep.
Times, and nothing but the Lord had somebody there.
Yep.
I hear you, because when I listened to that, I was like, ooh, let's talk about that. And thank you for letting us know.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely.
And I love how you said on all your interviews, you take accountability.
Facts.
And that's what I love the most, because a lot of people don't take accountability.
Right.
Is own up to your stuff. I throw my own stones. Throw your own stones. Take accountability for your actions. That way, nothing else can come back to you. But like, yeah, I did it, and you know,
I mean,
it was wrong.
Know, I got to walk around with me, and so one of the things that and I think this comes with being spiritual and understanding who you are and being of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you when you're in tune like that, you know when stuff don't feel right. You know when stuff is right or wrong. You know all of that. You can't make me believe that you don't know when an act or something that you're doing of is not godlike. So, I like to sleep, right? I like to sleep comfortably. So in order for me to sleep comfortably, I have to be real and true to myself.
Amen.
And that's simply what it is. You know what I mean? So I pull no punches. If it's something that I need to be held accountable for, I'm going to hold my own self accountable before even before somebody else tries to hold me accountable. I hear you, but I checked myself way before you came at me. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Now, we talked about the purge and the old me. Sometimes I put with the old me, I said sometimes people need to see that old you so they don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's so sweet, she's so sweet. And they like to keep doing, and I'll be like, okay, do they know? Hello, everybody. It's your girl Sunshine. Okay, so all right, y'all. I'm sorry about that. IG like to get rid of you real quick, fast, and a hurry. I'm getting him back on him. I am sorry about that. They give you an hour, and that's it. So I apologize, y'all. IG
Good.
likes to. IG is like, okay, you got your hour. Boop. I'm
Right,
like, nope, I got to get him back. We getting too good on this.
right.
So thank you for coming back on. Now,
Absolutely.
but I'm happy I caught the purge because I listen. I jot down. How I do it has to be quiet.
Yes.
So the kids could be asleep and I'm like, okay, here's my pen and pad.
Mm-hmm.
Earplugs in, fully charged in the day, during the day. So that way it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you guys for all coming back. Everybody's popping back up. See, they
Yes.
loving you, Tracy.
Hey
I'm
man, thank you.
and so I have my pen and pad. No lie. Here's all my notes. I'm scribbling and writing down because, look, I was
Judah
a
Priest,
beginner.
Priest brother. Yes.
And so, Dewey I,
Yes.
that's my favorite.
Ooh.
I put in quotations, my favorite. Talk about it.
Dewey Eye, man, that was really when things started to hit home with regards to the pandemic. Um, Understanding that this is where we are. Things will never be the same. In the beginning of the pandemic, you're like, well, how long is this gonna last? And is it really that deadly? Is it really that contagious? Do we really got to wear masks? This is before the vaccine. They're going to force a vaccine on us. You know what I'm saying? Is this a part of the Illuminati? Is this a part of, the New World Order? You know what I mean? Are they going to bring in the tanks? All kind of stuff is going on, you know what I'm saying, under certain leadership and all this other kind of stuff. And so, it was really one day, man, I was just sitting in here, like, I'm like you, like at night when the kids go to sleep, my wife goes to sleep, I like to do a lot of my thinking. And so I just found myself looking out the window and I'm just like in the dark. And I'm like, yo, this is really what it is. And whenever we get out of whatever it is that we're in, it definitely won't be like it was before we went in it. You know what I'm saying? And so, you start thinking about, damn, when the next time I'm gonna see my family? When I see my family, you know, how paranoid am I gonna be? Where's my mental? Do I want to hug them? You know what I'm saying? All of this kind of wild stuff. You know what I'm saying? People, looking for the stimulus check. You know what I'm saying? People that need that stimulus check, but the stimulus check is not showing up. You know what I mean? Like, how far are they? Are they on the brink of whatever it is, mentally, like, I think physically we're going through so much right now, but I think the mental trauma is going to be even more devastating,
Yeah.
as you'll see, especially with these kids, man. Like, they've been in the house over the last 2 years for the most part. Social activities, you know, kids and adults. You know, it's really starting to wear and tear on people.
Yeah.
And so that's what Dewy Eyed was. That's what Dewy Eyed is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I think about, damn, it'll never be the same. So, you know, it kind of brings a tear to your eye. It kind of, you know what I mean? You get emotional about it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like we are really in a different space, in a different world. And so, and it strategically placed that song number 6 because that was probably the darkest point, you know, because like I said before, this album takes you through the trials and tribulation first, takes you through the darkness first. But I understood at that point that it's got to get better, though. You know what I'm saying? It may not be the same, but it has to get better than what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that was really like the lowest point of the album before we start to get out of the darkness and come to the light. And as you begin to rattle off these records that are coming up next, you'll start to see, you know what I mean? This is where we start to transition, you know what I mean, and get out of this darkness. But that was really the lowest point of the album.
And when you say that, when I was listening to it, I was visioning the mustard seed, the seed being planted in the dark, and then the growth coming through.
There you go.
And like this pandemic, everybody was shut down.
Yep.
We didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Now it's like mask. Ooh, can't leave the house without the mask. I ordered the mask from Amazon. Just keep it in the car because my children, the middle one doesn't go to school. He stays home and does it online.
Mm-hmm.
Youngest one, he's the social butterfly. My middle one is too. But the youngest, he has a squad. They and he's only 10.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, I need interaction. Even if it's 2 days, okay, I understand that. Because when we were all quarantined in one house for when they shut everything down, what could you do? Play basketball in the front yard, jump on the trampoline in the backyard. That's just so much. And you watched every show, every movie, every video.
Yeah.
They go star crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not this. And so now, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
The vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Know what's going to happen with that. We don't know the side effects down the line. You're not going to use me as a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Like I go to a guy to be like, okay, I trust you. Not me. I trust you.
That's a fact.
So the simple fact is, I'm like,
it's really a personal choice. You know what I'm saying? It's at this point, it's what do you believe is best for you and yours. You know what I'm saying? And then you know, there's no, you know, I don't condemn one way or the other. It's whatever is best for you and yours. However you think you need to operate, then that's the way you go.
That was like I tell people, your issue ain't my issue.
Right. Exactly. I can't tell you how to, and you can't tell me. So we just do what we do.
Exactly.
and I see you where I'm gonna see you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But also, hi Maceo, DJ.
Yes. Salute.
I talked to Bilal like every other week and things to that nature. He was on the show also a month ago.
Okay.
So I just would listen to Dewy. I was just sitting there like, yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Who knew? We don't know what's going to happen next month, next week, you know? So it's like, yeah, do we start hugging again when all this is over? Is it ever going to be over? You know, how we used to hug family members, family members passed. You couldn't even go to the funeral. You're doing Zoom now. It's just.
You know, the 6 feet, all that. Like I said, it even if you proceed or attempt to proceed the way you did before, it's still in the back of your mind. I don't care what you're talking about. It's still in the back of your mind. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why it'll never go back to the way it was, because now you have these other things to consider. You know what I'm saying? That weren't there before.
Exactly. Now save.
Yes.
When did you give yourself to the Lord?
What I will say is, and I try to make a distinction. I am spiritual. right? I don't believe in, and I said this not that I don't believe, I don't subscribe to religion, because I think religion is divisive. I think the commonality within all religious beliefs is God. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, if God is the common theme here, then why are we separating ourselves from a religious aspect? You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, religion has been in my home since I've been born. I've been in the Baptist church. I've been in the Kojic church. I've been in the AME church. You know what I'm saying? I've been in all of these types of houses of worship. I've never been in a mosque, and I would love to go to a mosque. I have friends that are Muslim. You know, and again, just by having these kind of conversations with people with their belief systems, I always pull the common part, and the common part is God, and God is love. So that has been going on. And if you want to talk about from a symbolic perspective, I got baptized when I was 10 years old in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So, you know, but with regards to giving myself to God, I've always, you know what I'm saying, that has been instilled within me from the time I was born. And even when I strayed, you know what I mean, even when I did dirt, even when I did wrong, the foundation was always there. So again, going back to that intuition and understanding, I'm doing dirt. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I know it's wrong. You know what I mean? So there was always that thing inside of me that said, hey man, you know, you taking it too far. You might want to pull yourself back. As a matter of fact, you know, you're gonna do some things that even you can't control, that is gonna save your behind, because you know better, but you're being you're doing childish things. So we're gonna have to have some type of outside interference come save your behind. You know what I'm saying? And that's what God did. You know what I mean? So again, and that's because that foundation was laid from the beginning. And so if you're lucky enough, if you're not lucky, if you're blessed enough to age, you know what I'm saying? Because with age comes wisdom. If you're blessed enough to age, then you start to understand and realize, you know, and know better. You know what I'm saying? And do better. But you got to get to that point where you reach that plateau of wisdom. Not even a plateau, but that level of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? To understand what it is. So I thank God every day that I have no qualms and no shame of telling people that I'm 50 years old. I'm blessed to be 50 years old. There's a lot of people that don't make it this far. I know a lot of friends that didn't even make it past 30. You understand what I'm saying? So
make it past 25.
Yeah. So when you reach here, you know what I'm saying, and you've lived your life and you've experienced things, then you understand and know you have the knowledge and wisdom. And then not only that, you got to understand that it wasn't just you. You didn't do this by yourself. There has to be a higher power somewhere. There are things that happened in your life that you had no control over. None. So how do you account for that?
Exactly. Oh, I love it. Yes, I love it. And it is. It's like, you be like, you just sit back and be like, that was God. Because I'm like, I don't know how I got out of that one. And then I'm like, yeah, I know how.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I love getting proof. They be like, man, my son, one of his friends was like, oh, yo, who's that? He was like, that's my mom, Joe. He was like, moving, keep it moving. I was like, do you not know? Like, I'll sit with them. And they be like, well, who's that? Like, my first love boyfriend, he died before he even turned 25.
Man.
And it's like, you don't understand. I was like, that's why I celebrate life to the fullest, because people I grew up with, rolled with, are here today.
Yep.
Like, oh, I need your proof. I was like, okay, I'm just using this to make crowds. Like, you sure can. Thank you. They was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, don't apologize. I was like, black is beautiful. Thank you. God is good.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's a compliment.
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Now, tell your viewers how they could find your album to purchase it. But wait a minute. Before we do that, let's talk about the manuscript.
Oh. I thought you never asked.
Oh,
There
you
it is.
didn't now.
You know what I mean? So,
That again. Show that again.
oh yeah, here we go. Glory to manuscript. And this is actually the test. This is one of the test press before we went live. You know what I'm saying? The other books are upstairs, but the manuscript. Okay, so the whole thing about the manuscript is that there are a lot of artists out here, right? They're good, bad, or indifferent. You know what I'm saying? Some very, very extremely dope, and some very, very whack. You know what I'm saying? All subjective. But nevertheless, the market is saturated. There are more rappers now than ever before. Definitely more rappers. MC, no, I'll just say rappers for right now because we start getting this to MC and rapper, that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
So there are more rappers now than it was when I was coming up. So it's like because the market is saturated, even if you have a dope project, how do you get people to actually listen to it? How do you get people to it? Because, you know, the way we listen to music now is totally different. You know what I mean? We got, you know, digital streaming platforms. It's not, you know, the format of the radio. We're definitely not going to the clubs right now. So, you know, and even when you were going to the clubs right before this thing happened, they weren't breaking records in the club no more. They were playing what they were playing on the radio. So it's like, how do you break or penetrate the market? So what we decided to do in the midst of the pandemic is we identified that, you know, people, especially people in my demographic, listen to music differently. A lot of times we don't even have the time to listen, you know what I'm saying? Because we got more things on our plate than we did when we was, you know, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. So it's like, okay, we got to come with a new angle here. We got to come with a different way to introduce things. And we have to make sure that the music stays, because the way people digest music now is very disposable. You know what I'm saying? They listen to it for like 2 weeks and then it's done. It's on to the next. But we felt like we made a project that didn't deserve that. We made a project that we wanted people to savor. So therein lies comes the book, because I believe that OJ's is the star of the show on the album. The beats are absolutely knocking. Not to say that I didn't do what I did lyrically to the album and showcase my talents, but a lot of times people don't get to the lyrics first. They get to the beats. They got to make sure that it's knocking and it's grooving in the right way and they can do this to it, or they can, you know what I'm saying? So I understand that, and that was all intentional. But then now, since we got to that point, let's give the people an opportunity to really take a deep dive into the lyrics. Not only that, is that because we live in a digital world, we don't get the inserts anymore like you used to with the CD.
Yeah.
We don't get the inserts like you used to with the albums. You can't read along with the lyrics and understand who did what and all this other stuff. So what we did was we said, you know what, we're going to combine all of these things and all of this brainstorming we did. We're going to create a product that encompasses everything that we felt like was missing. We gave them something tangible. We gave them the lyrics to recite, the lyrics to really take a deep dive into it. But then not only that, when I introduced the idea to my wife has a publishing company. She publishes children's books.
Oh,
Yes. So
go ahead.
yeah, so you know, I wanted her to publish my book. Now this would be the first book outside of a children's book that she would publish, but she was up for it. So, you know, she looked at it and she said, "Yo, this is a great idea, but we want to take this thing somewhere else. We want to take it over the top. A book of lyrics is nice. I think people will get into it, but if we're gonna do it, let's knock it out the park." So she said, "You know what? Let's add some photography to it to really accentuate what you're trying to do and what you're trying to say and the messages that you're trying to convey." So that's when we solicited for photography from Young Guru. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't understand, not only is he an engineer and a DJ, but he also has a great eye for the camera. So we got some photography from him. We got some photography from my man OJ's, who again is not just a producer and an engineer, but he also has an eye for photography. And then we reached out to my man Mark Samuel, who's out in Baltimore, and he does that professionally. That's what he does, along with some other photos. And so we tied that into the book with the lyrics. And then I thought we were done, and she said, nah, there's something missing. I said, come on, man. I thought we was finished. Let's get it out. She's like, nope. What I need you to do is I need you to add journal entries for each song so that people can get a sneak peek behind your thought process and what you were thinking about with regards to that particular song. And I fought with her for about a week off of that. Like, I don't want to do it. And then I thought about it, and she said, look, man, are we trying to take it here, or are we just trying to leave it here? I said, you're right. So then because I thought it was going to slow up the process, but actually, just when I started writing the journal entries, remember when I told you about how I wrote the songs? Things just started flowing. They just started flowing. So I knocked those journal entries out in a week. And, for people that have read the book, they really have zeroed in on those journal entries. They was like, yo, the book is dope, but the journal entries just take it somewhere else. And that's exactly what my wife envisioned. And so we added the journal entries. So again, you get the lyrics, you get the photography, you get the journal entries, and then the way that she packaged it as far as the feel of the book and the weight of the book, it feels like she created a coffee table book, and that was her vision. So it's something that is not only something that you can digest with regards to from the literary aspect, but now we have a showpiece. Now we have a piece of work, a piece of art that when somebody comes in a particular room and is sitting there, it looks impressive with regards to the decor and all that other kind of stuff. So that's what Glory the Manuscript is, and it really brings the album full circle. And for optimum listening, if you're listening to the album and reading the book at the same time, then you get a whole different experience. So I'm super proud of this book. It's my first published work. So now I'm a legitimate author to add to the other things that are attached to my name. And I'm just excited about what people think about it, and when they pick it up, and excited for the feedback that we're going to get.
Well, you already got some in the comments here. T put shout out to Lance.
Yes.
For Dano's pick.
Yes.
That those 7 took her out.
Ooh, yeah, the story about the 7s. Yeah.
Now, I would love to have your new artist that you're working with on the show.
Okay.
And I definitely love to have your wife on the show.
Absolutely.
With her business. Because one thing here at daSpeakeasy, we support.
Yes.
We support. We like and share. Like when I seen you posting pictures of them holding it and they're sending it to you.
Yes.
I took that collaboration that you had and I shared it. Because the fact is, I love it. I'm like, look at this. Anthony is following him. Look at this. I was like, that's what's up. So Sunshine here would like to know. Growing up, I've had either baby girl or Sunshine as an family nickname. So I was like, I stuck with Sunshine because Sunshine. So how can because I'm going to purchase it, but I wanted to talk with you to see if I could get your autograph on it.
Oh no, that's easy. You can once you listen. Everybody that's out there that's listening, you can go to TracyLeeMusic.com. That's TracyLee music.com. And Sunshine, once you put the order in, just request in a little box. Could you please send me an autograph or autograph the book, and I can get that done. That's nothing. That's easy. That's easy work. And shout out to my man Paul Howard, DJ Paul Howard, because he has the book, and he said, again, going back to, the way that it looks and feels, he's afraid to even open the book. He's like, I don't want to, crack the creases, man. I know I got to read it, but it's just so well put together. I don't even want to open the book. So that's, a salute to my wife again for putting it together so well, man. I mean, and just taking it to a place that I never thought about taking it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Now, I know there's someone here, KJRD125, put TracyLeeMusic.com.
Yes.
Is there another way for them to order it, or is that the only way?
That's it. We're going right to the source, right to the website. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So now, before we end this awesome interview, what would you like to tell your viewers?
just be on the lookout for other rollouts from this particular project. Again, I'm super proud of what me and Jiz have been able to accomplish musically. I'm super proud of what me and my wife, Lori Lee, have been able to put together with regard to the literary work. And then I don't know if you see it in the background, but there's the green screen back here that we are now in production of putting together the mini movie, if you will. We're putting together Glory, the video album. And so there'll be videos for all 12 songs, but it will tell the story from a visual perspective. And so that's the third part or third leg of the rollout. And I would encourage, if you have not listened to the album, just press play. I promise you, money back guarantee. If you just press play, there is no turning back. You know what I'm saying? I just think it captivates a certain mind state, not only from a lyrical perspective, but the musicality is second to none. And yeah, just put yourself in a position to be able to digest this piece of work, man. That we're so very proud of, and I appreciate you, Sunshine, for allowing me to have this conversation on your platform and make others aware of about Glory, the album, and Glory, the manuscript. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time out to come on because you didn't have to. So I appreciate you as well.
That's what's up.
I really do. And I'm telling you, I love Glory. I love it hands down.
Thank you.
And I love dissecting because the music today is not the music I grew up on.
Right.
So I try to teach my children what real music is. But remember, this generation has theirs.
Yeah.
You see me, right?
Yeah. They got this.
Out with, and there's some I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I better never play that up in here.
Yeah, and that's what our parents did. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. Like, remember when me and you used to have this discussion? I said, yeah, I remember that. That's why I was like, yeah. But at least he's opened up to it. And so I was like, okay, you're going to listen to this. Listen to it. And then he'll tell me, okay, now listen to this artist.
Right.
So we've traded, and then we have open dialogue because I love to have with my children. You have many gifts, many talents, so let's sharpen them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want you to have quality and quantity. I don't want you trying to go short and, First is the deal, the truth, the facts, just love it.
Thank you. And and to your point, it's really about balance because we had nonsense too. You know what I'm saying? So it's about balance, and then, you would hope that, the level-headed person will prevail. So if you have some of this and some of that, at the end of the day, you'll choose what, you like, and you'll choose what you don't like. But the problem becomes when it's heavily saturated with one thing, you know what I'm saying? Then you don't have that balance, then you don't have the ability to make the informed decision about what you want to listen to, you know what I mean?
Again, tell them how they can get your album and where they can find it, and let them know who you are.
Absolutely. You can go to TracyLeeMusic.com. That's TraCeylee music.com for any and everything concerning Glory. If you want to purchase the album, you can go there. If you want to purchase the book, you can go there. If you want merch, you can also go there. We have sweatshirts, hoodies, all that good stuff. I'm trying to see if I got a piece in here somewhere. I think everything is upstairs, but oh no, yeah, we do. Here we go. As you can see, you know what I mean? We got the merch right here. So any and everything Glory, go to TracyLeeMusic.com. Absolutely.
Well, you guys, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love y'all. Like and share Let your friends know. Here at daSpeakeasy is about music, is about history, is about hip hop, the foundation that is done for our community and for now what is still going forth. So definitely tune in. We are on all platforms. We appreciate you, Tracy, for taking the time out and speaking with your fans, speaking to the loyals. We appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much. I really
Thank
do.
you. Here at daSpeakeasy, we're for the people, we're by the people, and we are here to support one another. We're here to get the word out. We're here to support. When you have new music, send it. We'll definitely share it.
Thank you so much. Peace and love.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Mwah. Sunshine out.
Yes.
For my 15-minute break, enjoying this